Lights, camera, action. Join the Stream team with Strick and Brant and be a part of the Stream network. Our goal is really simple. We're here to help you succeed.
We live? Yeah. Strick City. Woo! Strick City. All over the world. Strick City, man, we live. Yo, Strick City on the ride. Yo, look like surprise. Yo, taking your city like we live. Yo, man, we live. Yo, taking your city like surprise. Yo, on the ride. Yo, Strick City coming live. Yo.
Hey man, it's that simple. You got your boy Strick. It is Strick City Live. Thank y'all for being patient with me. We had to get through some sharing of the stream, and now it's all done. So if you are like me, I want you to be like me. If you're not, I've already shared this. Can you share this as well? Let everybody that you know the Strick is on right now. I have a great guest I'm about to bring on in just a second, but I want to give you a chance to share this and then make your comments. Okay, everybody, you can make your comments and I'll see them, put them up. You got a question for the guest tonight? Guess what? Hopefully we get around to your question as well. I don't want to have him waiting any longer. So without further ado, this young man has, put Birmingham on the map for real. Done some major things in the last couple of years as the mayor of the City of Birmingham, and I have him right here with me today. So if y'all can't do nothing else, can you celebrate with me? The mayor of the City of Birmingham, Randall Woodfin. How are you doing, sir? Hey, man, thank you
brother.
for being with us, man. How you doing today?
Hey, good, man. Happy to be with you, man. Appreciate and always proud of the work you do to put Birmingham on as well.
Hey, man, I'm trying to do the work. You are really doing the work as the mayor of Birmingham. And, dude, I got to say this. I'm super proud of you. Listen,
man.
to take on something like being the mayor is huge. And, like, you're actually getting ready to campaign or campaigning now for another term. Am I correct in saying that?
You are. I'm wearing two hats. I'm governing, and I announced my re-election back in January. So it's a little double duty for a few months, but we're in the stride, man. And I think the best thing I can do is to continue to work on behalf of the people. I've been the mayor 3 years and 1 month now, and so I'm honored to serve. I want to continue to serve, and there's a whole lot more work to do, brother.
That being said, let's go back a little bit. Did you actually grow up in the city of Birmingham?
Born and raised, man. So I grew up in North Birmingham. I went to North Birmingham Elementary. Um, I would say that my mom and dad divorced when I was 8. So my mom probably moved to Crestwood when I was about 11, and I went to Putnam Middle School. My own high school, believe it or not, was Woodlawn, but I didn't go there. My sister was there, and she transferred to Shays Valley, and I ended up following her
Gotcha.
there. But all my life, born and raised in Birmingham. Entire family grew up in Birmingham. I mean, when I tell you, my family lived in Southtown, Loveland Village, Old Brickyard, West End, uh, Central City, the old Central City. When I say
Gotcha.
old, I mean like old. Metropolitan Gardens. That's what I was trying to think of. That's how old it is. But family lived all over this town, man. East Birmingham, Kingston, you name an area of town. My mom's out of 8 children, my dad's out of 6. So there's nothing to have family all over the city.
Man, that's awesome. And then, so tell me at what point, Mayor, at what point in your mind did you say, you know what? I think I want to run to be the mayor of the city. When did that happen? How did that come about for you?
I think it was crystal clear for me by the time I became a senior in college. And it probably that, I guess, actually summer going into my senior year. But I went to Morehouse undergrad, and I tell people all the time, Morehouse is at the intersection of not just academic rigor, but it's also at that intersection, there's two other points, leadership and community service.
Right.
So it's not just about being book smart, but it's also about being a leader and being a leader and giving back in your community. So by the time my junior year in college, I ran for SGA president. Um, if you didn't know, that's Morehouse's varsity sport. And I remember being interviewed by Ebony magazine, and I remember they asked a question to all of us. It was HBCU school, so it was Morehouse, and it was Howard, it was Tuskegee, and it was Stillman, all these other schools, FAMU. They asked us all the same question: what do we want to do or be when we grow up? And in a national publication back in 2002, I said I wanted to be the mayor of my hometown.
Wow. Wow. And that being said, coming from Morehouse, you have friends and alumni all over this country that are doing public service as well. Like, I think I may have heard of, I guess, the coalition you guys have, but are you in like a group that's from Morehouse or from the HBCUs that you guys are all championing each other in the work that you're doing in your respective cities?
So yeah, so Morehouse is definitely a national network, brother. I remember my freshman sophomore year at Morehouse, there were at least three congressmen across the nation that were from Morehouse. Today, Senator Warnock, who represents Georgia, who just won his special election in January, is a Morehouse graduate.
That's
And so
right.
the net
That's right.
it's not a it's just a it's a national network. We all leave Morehouse. It doesn't matter our year or class we're in. We all become a part of a brotherhood, and we support each other.
Man, that's awesome, man. Just to have that to help and support and to actually come from, a pedigree that is, you got so many other people that are doing some of the same things that you can kind of glean on. That being said, you actually come to Birmingham, and before you got to be mayor, you were actually in public service with the Board of Education, right? Was that kind of like
That's
a,
right.
a normal progression for you to actually get into public service in the city? That being your first step?
So I wouldn't even consider that a step. I consider it more as a passion. I
Okay,
consider myself today in 2021. I'm the education mayor.
okay,
I stake my claim on making providing educational opportunities. Educational opportunities is not limited to K through 12. But when I consider how I grew up, my mom's a teacher, stepmom's a teacher, Birmingham City Schools 33 years, my mom county school system, my older sister's an educator. I grew up with educators. That being the case, wanting to serve on the school board, it's more of a board. It just so happened that you have to run for it. But I literally had a genuine interest in wanting to make Birmingham City Schools better, not for adults. My whole focus is on um, closing the achievement gap for children.
wow, that's awesome, man. So that being said, you actually, in this first term, established a scholarship for um, Birmingham City School students. Can you tell us about that program and how it's
Yeah.
progressing for this year in scholarship opportunities for kids?
So the name of the program is called Birmingham Promise. It started back from a thought process that formed while standing on the stage, shaking high school graduates' hands when I was on the school board. So my fondest memory, the biggest thing I look forward to every year as a school board member was May of every year I had the opportunity to stand on the stage and shake the graduates of all seven high schools' hands. And every now and then there was a bottleneck on that dais, I guess, that allowed me to ask a short, simple question to a young person: What are you doing next? And I'll never forget the first year, definitely the second year, looking into those young graduates' eyes, um, feeling stuck, wanting to please an adult on what an answer should be,
Right.
because a lot of them didn't know what they were going to do next. And I would just watch them walk off the stage and go back into um, their class. Well, the thought got really simple. I think our children, when they finish high school, should exercise one of three options only. And I don't care which one they do; it just should be one of these three only: college, military, workforce. College, military, workforce. So Birmingham Promise seeks to make investments in two of those: college and workforce. So it's two steps. One is simple: two requirements. If you live in the city limits of Birmingham and you finish Birmingham City's high schools, then you can go to any 2 year or 4 year public college or university in the state of Alabama, free tuition, no questions asked, with the exception of filling out your FAFSA. So that's Alabama, that's Alabama State, that's Auburn, that's Alabama A&M, that's UAB, that's um, Jefferson State and Lawson State and University of South Alabama, North Alabama, West Alabama. Any of the 2-year, 4-year schools you can name. If your FAFSA, for example, if your tuition is 10,000 and your FAFSA comes back and only gives you 1,000, the Birmingham province covers 9,000.
Wow.
If your FAFSA comes back and they give you 9,000, then the Birmingham province gives you the remaining 1,000. And if your FAFSA comes back and you don't get anything, then the Birmingham promise covers all 10,000.
Wow.
And that is the tuition scholarship side. And I've gone out and talked to corporate Birmingham, and they're funding that part 100%. The other part is that same senior, as a junior or senior, can work, leave high school early, receive credit hours, make $15 an hour, working a total of 16 hours a week for a total of 16 weeks.
So they have an
So that's the Birmingham
opportunity.
promise.
That listen, I want to say this, and I know a lot of people have probably already told you about this program and what they think about it. But for the city of Birmingham, this is leading the state for opportunities for our children to have the next step in
Right,
education. Like the
right,
next step, the difference between a college educated student, whether they go for 2 years or 4 years, that difference in the workforce makes uh, salary wise, we're talking about millions of dollars of difference in a lifetime of a person if they just take that next step. And now I got to say this, not only building this promise, but Mayor, funding this promise is another achievement. I give kudos
yeah,
to you,
man.
man, for getting out there into corporate America and actually making some of our corporate partners of the city actually come to the table and support this as well, man. That was not a small feat at all. And we have a education problem in the state of Alabama, and that includes Birmingham with our kids. But there are a lot of children in our school system that can make it to the next step, but finances really gets to be an issue. So doing this, man, is really going to give some people a real helping hand. Are you doing something on the other end to make sure that you stay connected, that the city are connected, some kind of departments connected with these scholarship recipients
Yeah,
during the time that they are going to school?
yeah. So we were intentional about making sure they not only get in but they stay in. So the Birmingham Promise also has another portion of peer support,
Good.
counselors, and wraparound services to make sure anything outside the academic piece, if it's needed, then you can call on us. We have relationships with the school, with the university or college you're at, and they can assist as well. So it's not just send you on your way, but it's also while you're there. Just like Morehouse, man, people invested in me outside of the classroom to make sure I needed what I to make sure I didn't give up and just come back to Birmingham just because it was hard or I fell on hard times. I mean, I did work study, so I think it's
Gotcha.
important that you provide wraparound services for these young people um, who wouldn't have other opportunity outside of Birmingham province.
That's what's up. So right now, I'm talking to the mayor of the city of Birmingham, and he's actually finished up 3 years and 1 month of his first term. He is right now in the process of going for reelection, and we're talking about some of the things that he has done while he's been in office. And I'm so impressed with him as far as the work that he's done in the city. How was it, Mayor? Let's go to an event that happened. Like you get to be mayor, and the interstate shuts down for rebuilding, and you have to be lead the city in a time where everything is kind of redirected, not just the streets, but there's a lot of industry that's been redirected. There's a lot of work that had to be redirected. What has this time been like for you as far as being the mayor? Have you grown like personally through this process?
I have, man, personally and professionally. Birmingham's had some interesting things that took place in the last 3 years. If you start backwards, 2020 in isolation, just the 1 year we've had,
Right.
because we're in February now. So just March to February is technically a year. Um, Three crises at one time: a global health pandemic, the economic crisis, and then the civil unrest. When you think about the global health pandemic, man, that's rooted in just you don't want people to die. So you do everything you can. Your mindset switches to every decision I make is going to save lives, whether it's a curfew, whether it's face covers, even if that stuff's not popular or politically incorrect, it's the right thing to do.
Right.
I think when we created the BHAM Strong Fund, the whole notion was it wasn't it wasn't just saving lives. We now had to invest in saving livelihoods. And so taking care of the small business owner who didn't get the PP loan, or taking care of the small business owner when we didn't know when federal help was going to come, if and when it was going to come. And then creating a program to support the hourly worker who was laid off or furloughed, who needed to take care of their bills and keep a roof over their head, lights on, and food on the table for their children. All of that will make you grow up really, really fast.
Yes, it will.
George Floyd's death and Birmingham's response with the monument in Lynn Park, all of those things will make you grow up really fast. It will catapult you and push you into shifting to only solutions, not just focusing on the problem. So yeah, man, personally and professionally, you mature very, very, very fast, brother.
So, is there one thing that you would say over this course of these 3 years that you feel like was a defining moment for you as far as the work that you were putting forth for the city?
I think so yeah, but I can't say it's one thing. It's several things. The one is the Birmingham Promise.
I
But
love,
what
yeah,
we've done with the Birmingham Promise, brother, will live well after I'm the mayor. Doesn't matter who the mayor is. This program is not going anywhere. We built it
it's
to be
great.
sustainable. We built a model to where we can get to a point where it's in perpetuity and it's endowed, and the money can just make money on its own. But we'll keep fundraising. But you don't want to start an opportunity where children can dream bigger and be rewarded for their success and not have to worry about debt. And then it
Right.
stops one day.
Got you.
Or, some of the low key things, them making $15 an hour is our unique, innovative way of supporting a livable wage. You and I didn't make $15 an hour when we were working when
No,
we were
brother.
15 and 16.
No,
And
brother.
so
Far away
I
from
would say
that.
that, yeah, I would say that's a defining moment for what we did. I would definitely say that's a game changer because as adults, if we're not making the right investments in our youngest generation, we're missing the boat. And I know every mayor before me has tried some version of what can we do to support children.
Right.
I really took Larry Langford's idea of scholarship opportunities and found a unique way to do it where it could work for everybody.
Man, that's great. So let me talk about another program that is probably not as well known, but it's something that I think is your brainchild as well, and that's the Pardon for Parole.
Progress.
Yeah, for
Pardon for
progress.
progress.
Yeah. I got that word wrong. I apologize. But this is another
Good.
program that you actually come up with to actually help the city. Can you talk a little bit about that particular program?
Yeah, well, I always start with the personal story narrative because I think it's important for people to know. I've had three different aspects of dealing with the criminal justice system. I know a lot of people know me as a prosecutor for the city of Birmingham for 8 years, where I saw people who deserve second chances, but I also dealt with victims and police officers. And I dealt in bench trials, but I went all the way up with jury trials as well. And I just seen a lot. But a lot of people don't know my father was a probation and parole officer for 40 years, like 39 years and 10 months to be exact. And he dealt with people who needed a second chance. He dealt with people who came out of prison. He dealt with people to prevent them to going to prison who were on probation. And then my own family. I mean, my brother spent time in prison. My first cousin spent time in prison. I've had at least three uncles be in prison. And so I've had a wide range of perspective of people interacting with the criminal justice system from my own personal experience. That being the case, Partners for Progress is a fancy way of saying people deserve a second chance, especially those who want to be gainfully employed.
Right.
So at some point in somebody's life, whether a young person or an older person, your indiscretion of smoking weed outside of your house caught up with you. You got caught in your car, you got caught at a party, you got caught outside, you got caught in a public place. You were arrested, you were charged, and this marijuana conviction, even though it's a misdemeanor, has stuck with you and may have prevented you from getting a second chance or a job. Well, I'm here to say I'm going to exercise my pardon power. We need you to know that if you have a misdemeanor conviction of marijuana in the city of Birmingham, we want to wipe that conviction clean. We want to give you a pardon. So you can start the process of actually sealing your record. You need the pardon first, and then if you do that, you can go through the state and literally conceal your arrest record as if it never happened.
Wow, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, and that's going to help a lot of people. And that's just another program that I know that's probably little known, but it's something that's going on right now where people can actually apply. And
Right.
if they have something on their record, just like that, what you explain, and they can get that expunged and hopefully gain some employment that they can never
Yeah, man.
get with that on their record. That's awesome. That's awesome that you would do something like that. And I asked the question, and you said, well, it's really not one thing. There's several things, and I guess I don't know if this is another one of those things, but it would be one of those things that I know about that you're doing that could really help the people of Birmingham.
Look, man, we got to put people to work,
That's right.
and it doesn't matter if it's the Birmingham Promise or Partners for Progress. It's all about creating opportunity.
So
Everything we're gonna do, if you want to put people to work, you got to provide the opportunity.
So, how important is that as the mayor to have people in your city working, like to develop a real workforce, from to have a real pipeline of workers in the city? How important is that to you?
So it's all correlated. I want you to consider any neighborhood in the city of Birmingham, a particular neighborhood, street, block. Uh, the more opportunity people have and they're gainfully employed, then here's what happens on that particular block. The more pride people have. That's an intangible, right? The more successful people are, the more dollars they spend in the community. All of a sudden, their property value increases, illiteracy decreases, crime decreases, um, generational wealth increases. And I can go on and on about the positives of the people that are gainfully employed. Everything is to the benefit of the individual, but all of a sudden, the individual, the way they interact with their communities is a positive and it becomes different as well.
So, as you look back on some of these things you had an opportunity to do in the last 3 years, Mayor, and you're thinking about running, you're running for a second term. Like, what are some of the things that you're saying now that people can expect if you're the mayor for a second term?
I think you, I think you continue to do the things that you've been doing. You can't do everything you want to do in 3 years. I mean, we need
Right.
to be real about this. If we've both been around long enough to know whether a person's been president, governor, or mayor of a city, any state, or a country. I'm unaware of anybody that's accomplished everything they wanted to do on behalf of the people they served in 3 years. You
Okay.
know why? Because all of us inherit so much. You've been
Right.
in Birmingham long enough to know, as the largest city in the state, 99 neighborhoods, you physically cannot get to every block, every street, and every neighborhood to pave every single one and knock down every single blighted house and put a single family home in one of these empty lots in every empty lot. It's humanly impossible. Not enough money, not enough time. And so you don't stop doing the things that's the priority. We're still going to remove blight. We're still going to pave streets. We're still going to do infill housing with single family homes, whether it's affordable, whether it's market rate, whether it's workforce housing, or what I call, not elderly in place, but those who are not going anywhere. As far as we can invest in those who still live in their homes. And so infrastructure, 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 the non-sexy things that people complain about every day, we got to take care of. You got to find a way to get access to grocery stores. You have to find a way to keep investing in neighborhood parks for playground equipment
Got
because
you.
parents deserve to walk their child to the neighborhood park. In a city of in the city that has 99 neighborhoods, we actually have more parks than neighborhoods. There are 117 parks in Birmingham, and people don't
Wow.
even know that, right? We got to keep partnering with Alabama Power and get more LED lights in these neighborhoods to light them up at night so people feel more safe. We got to continue to take guns off the street. And even though in 2020 we took over 2,000 guns off the street, gun violence is still too high. So we got to continue to throw every tool at addressing gun violence until we get the community to buy in and help us figure it out because we can't do it alone. You're not, we're going to keep doing the things we're already doing. Oh, by the way, we're gonna keep focusing on economic development and workforce development. The Birmingham Promise, I put it in our economic development office because it's not charity work, brother. It's
Gotcha.
intentional design work to make sure we have a ready trained workforce if I'm going to recruit industry here, and for the existing small businesses and everybody else here, if they want to expand their business, the people right here need to be first in line.
That being said, it reminds me of another question that I had for you. Like in some of the departments that you actually established. So coming into being the mayor, you did develop a whole bunch of stuff, but there were a couple other departments that was not around until you actually came in. Off the top of your head, because I know that I didn't send this question to you, can you talk about some of those departments that you are really excited about the work that they're doing under you as the mayor?
Yeah, the mayor's office of social justice and racial equity.
That's one of the
So the
ones
first
I was
thing,
had in my
yeah,
mind. I just didn't know what the term was, but that's
yeah,
it.
so just social justice. So we acknowledge that, my job is public safety, public infrastructure as mayor. There's nobody else's job to pave streets, repair potholes, sidewalks, pick up trash, police, fire, emergency management, right? That's the mayor's job to provide that on behalf of the citizens based on this agreement we have with y'all paying taxes, and these are what your taxes go to provide you services, right?
Got you.
But social justice and racial equity is important in a city like Birmingham for a couple reasons. One, we're the fourth blackest city in America. Over 74% of our city is black. So if you're not talking about racial equity, then you're not talking. Two, when we consider the high amount of poverty and concentrated poverty in Birmingham, you got to do something.
Right.
So the gaps in opportunity are too high here. So social justice focuses on a lot of things, man. I started with something that, now that I think about it, I grew up in North Birmingham, the actual neighborhood. Well, right next door to North Birmingham is Collegeville. My auntie Rose, my dad's sister, lived in Collegeville all her life. Well, all my life, that is. So 40 plus years, well, almost 40 years. She still lives in Collegeville. She worked at Hudson School for 28 years in Collegeville. She lived in the public housing, and then she got her Habitat house in front of the old Carver. Well, I don't have to tell people in Collegeville you got the coke plant and all these other environmental issues from an
Right.
air quality standpoint. So, Office of Social Justice and Racial Equity has a lens that focuses on literally not just air quality, but environmental health for citizens of Birmingham. That's an example.
Right.
I'll give you another example where you have issues of, again, poverty. And so you got all these various issues that focus on closing the poverty gap. And it's connected to various other departments and organizations that are doing stuff out here for inclusive growth. So, again, the Birmingham Promise is a part of that. Making children making $15 an hour as a livable wage is our way of saying we're going to participate in making sure families have opportunity. And I can go on and on of what's unique about social justice,
So
but we're
we're
doing it
talking.
our own flavor.
And I love it. I love it because I mean we're talking about something that you actually developed and built into your administration that was different than anything else that was being done. You mentioned today, hey, I did take some ideas from Mayor Langford, but some of these other things that you're doing is from what you decided to establish from your team. And I'm mentioning the word team because man, you got to know I actually love your team. Like I got a lot of people on your staff that I personally know, and these are some of the best people in Birmingham. Do you want to just kind of talk about some of the folks that you decided to bring on staff with you and the difference that they're making?
Yeah. So I start with a principle. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room, and I feel like everybody around me should be smarter. They should be at a minimum equally passionate, and they need to be go getters and executors. All that combined, I stole talent. There were people out here in the private sector doing very well, never been in government, think government sucks. There are other people that have been in government in various other positions.
Right,
I literally wanted to intentionally create an all-star team, bring all these people in who run various lanes, run fast, and do the job without me hovering over them or micromanaging. And so that's what I did. Male, female, younger, older. I wanted to assemble an all-star team, like literally a cast of folk who were just talented. And I want to brag on all of them. I don't even know where to start,
I
but
know it, right? And I'm
the
sorry to put
team,
you on the spot with that because I
no,
know when you call out names,
you're
it could.
good,
Okay, good,
brother.
good.
Listen, the team is intentionally designed. Every person on this team every day I have to wake up and say, how long can I keep them because they're that talented? Somebody else,
Wow.
if I stole them, somebody else gonna steal them from me.
Right. Right.
Now, I mean, and I genuinely mean that.
I get it. I get it.
So, shout out to the entire team. I'm grateful for anybody that wants to serve. They they serve like I serve. We all
Right.
serve. I mean, these jobs are not forever.
Right.
We have a short window. In that window, we need to take advantage of doing everything we can to increase the quality of life for the people we serve. That is literally the mission.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And I'm glad you said that because I have like I guess let me say it this way. We have something in common. All right. Both of us has gone through some time at the Division of Youth Service and actually work with Cedric Sparks, who is also on
Absolutely.
your team. And I think like even the time that I spent with him and Elena and now having Galvin in that same spot down there, I absolutely love these people because of the work. Like I know how passionate behind the scenes they are for the people of Birmingham, and for you to have them on a team and have worked with them, coming up through the ranks, with
Right.
them, and now to be the leader and say, hey, I haven't forgot. These are the people I want to ride with me, and then I also have like a special friend, Kiki Bonner, that's on your team as one of the assistants. That's like family to me. So man, like I
Yeah,
said,
man.
I actually love the people that you have in your staff, and I probably missed a whole lot of folks, but I definitely want to talk about those folks that I know because I really know their heart. That
Yeah,
being
man.
said, brother, you are now getting prepared to run for a second term. Is there a special message to the people that you have for the second term? As far as what these are some things, guys. If I have an opportunity to have 4 more years, this is what I want to work on.
So everybody knows we say putting people first. I want everybody to know we're going to continue to keep putting people first. We've made some progress, and if I submitted a progress report to you, you may call it receipts that we've shown what we've done on behalf of the people we serve. And it's been a collaborative effort where it's framed as we work together. So there's been an overwhelming amount of progress together, but there's a long way to go and more work to do. And we want to continue to serve the people.
That's awesome, man. So, Mayor, I do appreciate the time that you spent with me today. There's tons of questions, brother, that I can have for you, but I want to respect your time.
It's all
Is
good.
Man, this has been awesome for us, and I know I got people all over the city that's watching this, and we're gonna definitely put it out so people can actually see who you are and what you're doing. We always get caught up, Mayor, with I guess squeaky wheels in the city, like people that have problems and they always shout the loudest. That being said, is there a way if someone has they need time with you, they want to talk to you about a particular issue, they have something going on their street, and they want to be sure the city know about it? Do you have a process or a way that people can get to the city or even to you to talk about an issue?
Yeah. Well, listen, man, way too accessible. Um, Listen, the best way is to email Randall.Woodfin at birminghamal.gov. So that's Randall dot WOOD is in Daniel, F is in Frank, IN. Randall.Woodfin at birminghamal.gov. You send any issue to that email address, we'll follow up.
That's awesome, man. Again, thank you for your time. You got any last words you want to have? Any parting statements?
Yeah, I got something I need to talk about, brother.
Yes, sir.
Because I got to be real.
Come
This
on.
city is a city that I love, born and raised in. And many of you all listening are born and raised in the city too. And we're all passionate about Birmingham. But I gotta say something because I need y'all help. A 2 year old, first name by the name of Major, it's been a week now, shot and killed, shot in the neck. And there was a moment we thought he was gonna make it, but he didn't. And I've had a chance to talk to his godmother. I've had a chance to talk to his grandmother. And the pain that they've experienced over the last week, and listening to them fight through their tears as they explain who this little boy was, his impact on their lives over his just short 2 years of living, all of that should hit home for us. All of that should make us feel some type of way. None of us have the luxury to be numb in our community when a 2-year-old is shot and killed. And this is Birmingham, the largest city in the state, but still small enough where everybody knows somebody and everybody knows something. If anybody has any information on who shot and killed this 2-year-old, if there was ever a time to come forward, now's the time, because this doesn't affect that little boy's mother and his godmother and his grandmother. This one touches all of us, and there should be a code all of us live by. If a 2-year-old is killed, that crosses a line, and no adult who is living should be able to get away with that. That's what I wanted to share with you, brother, and your audience.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your time tonight, and thank you for sharing that, because for me, it also shows where your heart is for the city of Birmingham. So if you just hold what you got, listen, guys, I can't say it any better than he did as far as where his heart is for the city and for this family that is hurting right now. So if you know anything about this particular incident, it's clear. Please talk, call. There are going to be ways that you can do that. And we want to be sure that we get information for Major. Hey, guys, it's been a great show. Thank you for being a part of this audience tonight. Again, thank you, Mayor, and the time that he spent with us. Guess what, guys? We are still doing what we can do to get Strick City rolling, and you are a part of it. So I will actually have this video ran again tomorrow, so everybody will get a chance to see it. Thank you so very much for all you do for Strick City. And man, we do this Thursday nights, 8 o'clock, man. It's me and you. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with us. See you later.